We'll also see week to week when Zach Wilson is back, if at all. Let's have a listen and then dissect the comments from Jets head coach Robert Saleh from yesterday regarding his quarterback situation.
Will Zach be inactive again this week, or is he done enough to be the backup quarterback? Have you seen enough for him to be the backup?
We're going to go, it's going to be status quo. So he'll still be, the plan is for him to still be inactive unless something changes.
Is your intent still to have Zach play this season?
That's still, I'm still right there with that same intent. Zach's been doing everything right. He's been putting in the extra meeting time. He's been putting in the extra work after practice. Really working on trying to retie all his fundamentals together and spending extra time with him. All the work that he's doing on scout team with regards to playing quarterback the way. And I know people think scout team, all offenses to a degree run the same stuff, but just tying it all together and getting completions against our defense, just get completions and regain all the confidence that we know he's capable of and all the different things that he's capable of as a quarterback. So, but the intent is to still get him back on the football field. So for Mike, then I'm going to stay status quo on all of it. This is Mike's opportunity to make noise. And you never ask how your opportunity comes. You just take advantage of your opportunity and you do the best you can. And so it's, we got all the faith in Mike. I've said it before, and I know the line, if you have more than one quarterback, you have none. Well, we feel like we have three of them.
I love studying the facial expressions and the demeanor. And I don't know if you noticed this, Chris, but one of the all-time great tells is the touching of the face while giving the message. And when he's talking about Zach Wilson, he's doing all the things that we need to do. We're thinking it. And when he's talking about Mike White, it's hands down and it's go time. There's no equivocation. There's no hesitation. There's none of that involuntary reflex. And folks, it's real. When you're trying to sell something and you're a little nervous about your ability to sell it, you get a little bit of this. It's natural. And the best communicators know to keep their hands in place all the time and sell it with their facial expression and nothing else. I'm not buying it. I think that whatever got them to put Zach Wilson on the bench is still there. It's not getting any better. It's weird to me, and I know it's weird to you that he's number 3. There was that moment on Sunday against the Vikings, next to last drive. They had 2 opportunities to score and potentially win the game. Mike White got rocked, and he looked hurt. And I think this was said in the viewing room. I know it rocketed around inside my brain. Holy crap, Joe Flacco's coming in now? I mean, what a different feeling if Zach Wilson would be the guy who came in that spot if the starting quarterback gets injured. So there's something weird here. And yes, he said all the right things, but when he talked about Zach Wilson, there was a little too much of this, he's doing everything he needs to do. I'm not sure that he is. Otherwise, he wouldn't be standing there in street clothes during the games.
Yeah, because I don't think he knows where this is going right now. Again, there's going to be organizational pressure, GM, owner, all that's hovering over the Zach Wilson situation. So has got to be sensitive to that. And I think they still want him to be the future to a degree, so they want the best for him. But I don't know if they know where to infuse them, and I think that's where I think this is one of the weirdest situations in football right now. I do. It is. And listen, I think from a football standpoint, I understand what they're trying to do here. They want Zach Wilson to work on some things that they feel there are real issues with him and get those fixed and work on those, and then we'll start throwing, hey, playbook, and you can get back out there, and here's the reps and practice and all that. But they want him to become a little bit more of a machine first, it sounds like, as far as throwing the ball, decisions. That's everybody you talk to around the situation. Let alone Robert Saleh said that for 2 straight weeks in press conference. The problem is, to what you're saying and to what we all see, is the problem with the NFL is the perception. And the look and the perception is horrible. It's horrible. And, I think that's where teams can lose sight of it sometimes, where they want to go, well, yeah, we're doing this, and it makes sense to them. And, yeah, okay, but you're kind of in this own little box of your organization, and I don't know if you're paying attention, But you're putting Zach Wilson in this situation under such a microscope that it's very weird. It's going to be hard to come back from, in my opinion. And that's where I don't get it. So I understand the thought, but the perception and the talk radio and everything is just piling on. And then the fact of, like you said, he's not even dressed for the game, that piles on even more to they go, well, they don't even trust him to be the backup. I mean, how bad is he? Blah, blah, blah. And that just all adds to this. And that's where I can't remember a situation like this, really. It's as weird as it gets. They got Buffalo this week, and then they're back to playing the Lions, where, I mean, again, the Lions have been playing better defense, but when you take Chicago, Minnesota, and the Lions, you're talking about 3 of the worst defenses in football over the last 6 or 7 weeks. And then Mike White's going to get to play them. I just have a hard time thinking we're going to get Zach Wilson back in there. Oh, and then it's the Seahawks the week after that, the worst defense in football, or the second to worst. So that's where the rubber does not meet the road to me in that situation. And I don't know where this is going to go. I'm very intrigued by this whole situation.
Mike White started 3 games last year. Cincinnati won the game, toasted the town. Short week, Indianapolis got injured, so that's kind of an incomplete. And then came back and played the Bills and lost 45-17 with 4 interceptions and no touchdown passes. Enter the Bills this weekend. More accurately, they enter Buffalo this weekend. And this is his chance to prove that and when I spoke to him after the win in his debut a week and a half ago, he said one of the things he learned is don't play hero ball and do what the offense dictates. And look, we saw some good things from him on Sunday, but it was against the Vikings. And they didn't score but 1 touchdown in the red zone on 6 trips, too many field goals, and then 2 opportunities at the end to score touchdowns to win the game, and they just couldn't get it done. And part of it's play calling. Those 2 passes, especially the one that was floated out of the end zone on 3rd down, made no sense. But the point is this, Chris, you got all the players with the Mike F. White t-shirt, and you've got Garrett Wilson, after a loss, talking about this guy like he is the next Joe Namath. Like, this is my guy.
Yeah,
I want to line up with
weird
him. I want to go to bat. And how awkward it makes it. Chris, my only read on this, because they're not going to come out and be completely candid with us if this is the truth.
Right.
My read on this is this guy's uncoachable and he's unlikable. The locker room is rallying around Mike White. And the coaching staff is at their wits' end with this kid because he won't listen to them no matter how many times they say it, no matter how many different ways they put it. He won't listen. So they had to put him on timeout. He's basically on timeout. And they're waiting to see if he learns while he sits his ass in the corner. Does he finally cry uncle and say, I'll do everything, and show he's showing that he's doing everything that they need him to do to earn his way back onto the field. And they have to also hope that intersects with Mike White cooling off enough that they can sell going back to Zach Wilson to the locker room.
Yeah, that's where it's hard. It's hard. It's weird. I don't know if they could sell it to the Jets fan base. They're a little blinded by Mike White too, no matter what. I mean, you talked about his resume from last year. He also came in the week before that Bengals game and threw 2 interceptions against he threw 8 interceptions in 2 3/4 of a game last year. So that's where the rubber doesn't meet the road on a lot of this. And I don't disagree with you. It seems like they're trying to prove a point to Zach Wilson, and things might have gone the wrong way. But those same guys that were wearing Mike White t-shirts were wearing Zach Wilson t-shirts before the year too. So that's where it's weird too. Year. Right. The Milvinator. I mean, it was all like, he's the coolest guy. And all you could hear is how cool he was in the locker room, and everybody loved him. So that's where it just is so, I don't really know where it goes. But they have definitely, the future is cloudy and questionable. And this is where when you don't handle situations the right way, perception can really change a guy's career and change everything. I mean, the Jets should know better. Their fan base and people changed the perception of Geno Smith to such an extent that it took 8 years for anybody to let him back on the field and let him play and show, hey, you know what? Maybe we were the problem in New York. So that's where it gets dicey for Zach Wilson, too. But I don't disagree with what you said. The optics look like, the team didn't like him or doesn't like him. And Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, they certainly seem like they don't like him. And that's where, I don't know where this goes.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.